Hi, welcome to Untitled Games. I'm your host, Anthony, and today I'm bringing you The Legacy of You. So, Legacy of You is a solo game designed by Shem Phillips, published by Garfield Games. This is a game that takes place in ancient China, where you are playing as a character by the name of Yu, who is responsible for trying to undo some of the damage that the Yellow River has been wreaking havoc on his village for years and years and years through the building of canals, right? So this is a campaign-driven game that you are trying to gather resources, take actions, manage your... It's more like deck management and hand management, where you're actually going out there and you're trying to build canals and stay ahead of the floods, and while fighting off barbarians before they kill your villagers. So take a look at the table. It's a really nice, tight little setup. It doesn't eat up the table, which I do appreciate. And it's absolutely gorgeous to look at. So let me go through the setup real quick. And it's a standard setup for every time you play this game. And this isn't a one and done. It's a campaign, like I said. And depending on whether or not you win or lose that particular game you're playing, we'll give you a card and change some of the effects of the game going forward, and it'll keep changing and evolving throughout the campaign. And you'll play a series of games until you've completed it and see where you end up, right? So what we're going to do today is we're just going to play the first game of a campaign, so there's no changes to the base at this point, and you'll kind of go through and experience what kind of things and events happen throughout one of these plays. So the game plays over a series of rounds, and you have a deck of 10 cards to start, villager cards, that you're going to be managing. It's called your ready deck. You have an exhausted pile, so cards will get exhausted, and you'll be shuffling the deck. Every time you have to reshuffle this deck to draw from it, this flood marker is going to advance. If it ever advances and you have not built a canal there, you immediately lose the game. Now, you're not done and everything's the end of the world. You're going to draw a card from your losing pile, and it will tell you what rules are going to change for your next play, and then you're going to reset it and do it again with some changes in place. Additional setup is you're going to have the villager stack, which is the deck here, and you're going to seed cards all the way out until the last space, where you're going to be placing one of your barbarian cards from your barbarian deck. So all along, you're going to be trying to build these canals, recruiting villagers or dismissing them, getting resources and workers, and trying to fight off the barbarians before they come in and and basically they kill your villagers and they mess things up. Throughout the game, you're going to be able to build different buildings. So you've got farms, you've got outposts that are going to allow you to do different things. Farms are basically going to help you with your harvest every round and get more resources. The outposts are going to allow you to interchange your laborers, which are your white meeples, with other workers. So, for example, this fighter, if you build an outpost, then now all of your red and white meeples can be used to do each other's jobs, right? Which is very powerful. Down here you have huts, which are going to give you additional places to place workers to generate resources during the game. So you're going to want to definitely build some things, but they can only be built along the river as you build canals. At the start of the game, you only have one available space. There is river trading, so you can trade at this point 3 of these cowrie shells for clay or wood. There's 3 main resources in this game, actually 4. You've got clay, you've got wood, you've got cowrie shells, and you've got provisions. That's it. Really straightforward. And all of the cost of everything is right on the player board, right? So talking about canals, this is the most important part because you've got to build a lot of canals throughout the game. The canals cost 2 laborers and 2 cowrie shells. That's it. Sounds simple. And then you get those rewards at the bottom. So we obviously have to do some resource gathering to get workers, which we have none, and cowrie shells, which again we have none. So the rounds are basically structured in the same way. You're going to have a harvest phase, which will go through these steps down here, which we can do right now. So we'll start out with the harvest, right? That symbol means harvest. So we're going to draw 4 cards. Whenever you see this, this is draw from your ready deck, right? So drawing 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 villagers right now. We're going to get a laborer. We're going to get a cowrie shell. We're going to get a provision. And then we would get 1 additional cowrie shell per outpost that we have built. We haven't built any outposts yet, so we're not going to get any. You would also gain any additional harvest resources for cards you have tucked, and I'll show you that in a second. We'll go through the next phase. So that's harvest. Every round starts with the harvest phase, and then it goes into actions where you're going to be doing most of your work. So to summarize what we have to do here so that we're not going too long into the explanation and not enough into the gameplay is you've got your hand of 4 villagers. You have a number of ways to play them. 1, you can tuck them if there's an available spot. In the beginning of the game, you have 1 spot available. Building huts will give you 4 additional spots, right? Those rewards will basically be additional, typically workers and resources during the harvest phase. So depending on what you want, right? That's one option. The second option is to get the resources from the card. If you place a card here in your exhausted pile, meaning it'll eventually come back into your ready deck, you will gain the top resource in the brown square, which in this case would be a brick. Alternatively, you could discard it up here in the villager discard pile. These cards will not come back to your ready pile. That's important, and I'll explain why in a minute. But if you do that, you get not only the top resource, but also the one in red. So in this case, I would get a clay and a laborer, right? But that card is lost. It's gone. One time, it's gone. It won't come back. So that's sort of the strategy. Like, how do you want to use these cards? So that's basically how you can use these cards, right? And you have to play your actions until you're out of cards, right? Everything else you can keep, but these you have to play every round. So that's the first bit. Second bit, you can recruit any of the villagers at the top, right? And they're going to cost provisions to be able to buy them, right? And it gets exceedingly expensive as it goes, but the first villager on the left is always free. So what's going to happen is you have a choice. You can recruit her, or you could dismiss her, right? Pay the cost and decide what you want to do. If you recruit her, she goes into your exhausted pile. She'll be available at some point in the future. If you dismiss her, you gain the top resource from her. So in her case, I would get a rider, which is the black meeple. So that's what you do with these guys. The barbarians, now they're a little bit different. So this guy, I would have to pay 3 provisions to fight him. And I would have to assign, or basically discard, 2 spearmen and a rider. So 2 blues and 1 black. And I would gain 3 cowrie shells. And he would get discarded. At the end of each round, any barbarians in this row will attack. And they will either destroy the top card of your ready deck, or you could pay wood to bribe him, right? So that's your choice, depending on what you can afford. If you can afford the wood, not a big deal. It is in your best interest to get rid of them, though, because those cowrie shells are great, because you can see cowrie shells are the way to go for building canals. So we're going to take an action phase. At the end of the action phase, the barbarians are going to attack. Like I showed you how they're going to do it. We reset the offer board, and then we draw 4 more cards. And we're going to keep going until we don't have enough cards to draw on this deck. We have to shuffle it, and that's when this water moves, right? The flood line moves up. We have to get that canal built before that flood line's gone. So first order of business is get 1 additional laborer and 1 additional cowrie. Now I know that after this round, my harvest will gain me that anyway, so I could probably say, you know what, I'm going to be fine, because I know I have at least 6 more cards in here, because there's 10 cards. So I could start strategizing for later on. So for example, I could start with her, right? So my first action can be to exhaust her and just take the spearman, so the blue worker, working towards getting rid of this guy. I don't like them. They bother me. I would like a way to get some more riders. So I will take her because she's free, and she'll go right into my exhausted, not discarded. She'll be, because I'm creating more cards in this deck so that I have a longer timer before floods, right? Because it's going to be a little while before we go. These guys are pretty good, right? So do I want to gain resources, right? So in harvest, if I tuck one of these guys, like this guy, for example, will give me an extra card draw into my hand plus a cowrie shell. It could be good or bad, right? Because I don't know if I really want to go through my deck that fast. I don't mind having bricks, because bricks will help me build more buildings. So I think I'm going to tuck this guy. So what he's going to do is for harvest now, I'll get a brick and an additional cowrie shell, which is pretty good. These guys are pretty good as far as resources go, so I will use him for a provision and another cowrie shell. And I will use him for another brick. Why not? So I've got all my workers' cards. My villagers have been used. I don't have enough resources to necessarily build a dam yet, but I could. So what I could do, and I'll show you that, I can purchase this villager for 1 provision and dismiss her. She'll give me 1 laborer. And now I can afford to build this canal. Just get this out of the way, right? 2 laborers, 2 cowrie shells, and this gets built. So when you build, you actually gain the reward. So I'll gain another clay and a wood. And when you see this little golden turtle with a 3 on it, that's going to be an entry in the storybook. So I will read that and we'll see what happens. So I built a canal. What happens? So number 3, disaster. The new canal to the east of our camp was nearing completion. Storms have been assailing us like the horrible breath of a dragon, forever slowing our progress. The men have become weary. I've been focusing on completing this work with such intent that I allowed carelessness to creep in. A short break in the torrent provided us only a moment to proceed. While I was overseeing the last reinforcement on the canal, I received word from the camp that a fire had broken out and part of the camp was ablaze. With so many hands away at the canal, the fire raged like a beast. And despite valiant efforts from those still close by, a scorched mess is all that remains of our food store and the tents surrounding it. Food will be scarce now. We had been foraging heavily to feed the workers and keep everyone strong. A concentrated and extended effort will need to be made to restore what was lost. All right. Well, there's a lot going on here. Fool may take some solace in stories coming from the camp that this was the work of the Wuzhiki, the monkey demon of the river. I think I will put my energy into figuring out how to restore our food supply rather than in chasing spirits. The burden of this oversight will hang over me for a long time, not unlike the storm clouds that now gather once again. At least the canal is done. So, file the completed canal card in the box under history. So this is going to go into our box. And there's a really nice organizer in the box. That's going to be good. Find card 16 in the story deck. So this is pretty neat. So you're going to see a story deck here, right? So you've got this story deck. We're going to look for card number 16. And we've got this card 16. It tells you it's story number 3. So it's going to say, place it alongside the board with the side shown below. Face up. This is a food shortage card. Great. So that will go. Put that over here so we can keep an eye on our food shortage. It's no good. In order to fulfill the food shortage card, you must place 3 townsfolk cards from your hand onto the food storage card in the sequence shown. Each townsfolk card placed must feature the indicated food icon on its left side. To be clear, the first townsfolk's card must feature milk at the bottom, the second fish, and the third meat. This is great. Immediately after placing the third townsfolk card, turn the indicated story entry in the storybook 13. So we're going to go to that storybook once we fulfill this. You gain no other benefit from placing townfolk cards here other than progressing towards fulfilling the food storage. Town cards placed on the food storage card are locked until it is fulfilled. You can optionally pick them up later. If you're defeated, any townsfolk cards on the food storage will return to the townsfolk deck to future games. They're not left on this card. That's it. So we've got to deal with the food storage right now. So that's not good. That's not good. So it's something else we need to deal with. All right. So what else can we do? We have got some more resources. We have another worker. So while we don't have any buildings built yet, I can assign this worker here. So that's a worker spot. There you go. So you can see it, right? So what he'll do is he'll generate me a provision from going there, right? So I'll just assign a worker there. He'll come back at the end of the round. So I've got 2 clay and 1 wood, which is not enough to build any of this or this because I don't have a laborer. But I think I'm going to look towards getting one of these things built in the next round. So do I want to spend more provisions on a card? I think I do. This one will generate provisions. She'll generate fighters. I think I want to this guy, I want him to degenerate for provisions later. So I'll take him and place him down here for later. And then that's it. So I'm done doing all the actions I can take, and that ends the round. So at the end of the round, the first thing you do is return your boat, right? And the boat goes to the furthest left card, which is here. So now the river's been moved up. We have a canal built, as you see. We dug that nice little canal, so the water's, it's safe. The floods will come and it'll funnel out. We're good. We've opened up another slot to build another building, and we'll get that reward when we build a building there. We also open up some additional trading on the river, so now we can trade 2 cowrie shells for a provision. What we do next is we suffer attacks, right? So we've got this guy who's going to destroy a card, or I pay him some wood. So I have 1 piece of wood. I'll pay him the wood so they don't have to destroy one of my cards. So we bribed him. We're okay. We survived, right? So now we do a refresh. We slide all the villager cards to the left, and then we bring out additional barbarians to however many of these flags you see up top. Right now we only see +1. So we're going to bring out +1 barbarian, so we'll slide him over 1 and bring out a second barbarian. So now we've got 2 barbarians to deal with, and we're going to suffer 2 attacks. The last remaining spaces are filled in with villager cards. All right. And then we have that. All right, so now we're going to start off again with the harvest. So we're just going to keep going. So we know we're going to draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 2 cards left, meaning that next round, at the start of the next round, our flood marker is going to move up. But we're going to bring him back too at the refresh. At the start of the next round, we know that this flood marker is going to move up. But we're safe because we built a canal, so we can keep pushing this canal. But we also want to make sure we're getting some cards in our deck built up and dealing with these guys. So we have, let's get our resource. So we got our 4. We're going to get a laborer. We're going to get a cowrie shell. We're going to get a provision. And we're also going to get a brick and an additional cowrie shell. So we're already working our way. We're almost able to build the next dam piece, which is nice. But if you notice that some of our workers, our villagers, are going to die during the construction of the dam, which is not good. So we got to keep padding our deck here. So I think we do some easy stuff. So she's always, this far left is always free. We'll get some fighters, pad that deck more because we know we're going to lose some cards. We've got 2 bricks, so I'm going to need, if I can get some wood, right? So she gives us wood because I want to build some buildings. We actually have 3 bricks of wood. I could build that hut right now, actually, if I wanted to. I mean, because what this would do is in harvest, this would give me an additional labor, additional provision, or an additional worker of any color, which is pretty powerful. Or this would allow workers to interchange, but I don't have 3 wood. So trying to think how I want to use this. So let's use her and get the wood, right? So we've got the wood. We've got enough to either build this hut or this farm. In the long run, what's better? Probably the farm, right? So I can get any worker I want, so I can deal with these barbarians. So if I pay 1 of each, worker, wood, and clay, I could build this farmhouse. I could put it here, and that'll gain me a provision for building it there. And now, during the harvest, I'll gain a worker of any color, except for a laborer. It'll be any of the fighters, which could be helpful. So now I need to get another blue. I need more blue and black. So riders and spearmen, so that I can fight these dudes. This guy will give me some spearmen. Now, I could trash him. And what he'll do is he'll gain me 2 spearmen right off the bat, because I'll get both rewards. Or I could use him, I could place him here actually for the milk, right? And then I could place him for food. I don't have steak. which I kind of want to get that resolved, that food shortage. But this guy will get me. I could trash him, take the 2 blue workers. I could pay 1 provision and get rid of her and take the rider, the black worker. And then with the 2 blue, see, I'm going to need 2 more provisions though. Is that worth it? I don't have 2 provisions, unfortunately. And they're gonna mess me up. I mean, I can assign 1 worker here and gain a provision. So now I have 2. I need 1 more. 1 more provision. And I could take him out. So I could trade these 2 cowrie shells on the river and gain another provision, right? And now I've got 3 provisions. With those 3 and these workers, I can take him out. And what he's going to gain me is 3 cowrie shells. And not mess me up next round. I can trade 2 of these cowrie shells in for a provision on the river again. And that way I can bribe him and he won't hurt me. And I won't lose any more cards. I think that's the way to go. And then we live to fight another day. So let us do... so suffering attacks, I'm going to lose that. We're going to refresh. So we're bringing this over. Again, there's only 1 more barbarian coming in. And then some more people. And then we're going to draw 4, right? So harvest is for 1, 2. We have to shuffle. This moves over. We're okay. We have the flood has been thwarted by the canal. We are good. Oops. Shuffle this up. We get 2 more. 1, 2. And do the rest of our harvest here. So we're going to gain a laborer, another cowrie shell, a provision, a worker of any color, a brick, and another cowrie shell. Let's take, what kind of worker do we need? Oh, I get my blue worker back. Let's see, we have, I will take a rider, the black worker. All right, that's not too bad. All right, we do have to build this soon. We can see how many cards we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll go another round safely, and then we're in trouble. We're definitely going to scoop him right off the top and bring him in for free. I need steak, as you recall. So I'm going to use her for the steak, and we're going to pay this guy. So now we go to 13. So we've satisfied the food shortage. Let's see what it says. 13. All right, our foragers have done well. We've endured the simple rationed food, saving whatever we can from the leaner times. We are starting to see the food store fill once again. It is meager, but the workers are inspired. Work has been hard in recent days, and a full stomach goes a long way to keep the man going. I have, however, been meditating on the events that led to the situation we now have found ourselves in. Before the fire, we had been beset by storms and rain, not hospitable conditions for a fire to swell, but now there is still food to gather and store. A few extra stores of grain is not enough to see us through the winter. I will need to talk to those who were here in camp when the fire broke out, or perhaps I should start looking for monkeys in the river. All right, so file the completed food storage card in the box under history. So this guy is now gone. He's history. Place the townsfolk cards that were in the food storage card into the townsfolk discard pile. Now that hurts. These guys are now gone. So those cards were trashed. Find card 21 in the story deck and file it in the box under other setup cards for future games. So card 21 is going to go in the box. So you just got to grab 21 out of here. That's going to go in the box for future games. As with the previous food storage card, this is a new one that will also need to be completed in order to win your next game. And will remain in play until you complete it. The food storage card rewards some stuff. All right, that's it. So we took care of the food shortage, but yet we've got to stash some more. But at least that's been thwarted, and we are ready to proceed. So we have to get so let's take care of this now. We're going to place him here, get our laborer, and then we're going to take 2 laborers and 2 cowrie shells, and we are going to build the second dam. Unfortunately, aside from gaining a clay and a wood, we are going to lose the top card from our deck. So she is gone. That hurts. But that's out. So, but we've taken care of that. Let's see. What more can we do? What else can I do? I can build a farm for sure, but I need a white worker or laborer. So I'm going to trash this guy. He's going to get me a laborer and an archer. And we're going to build a farm. So pay him these 3 clay, this, and we're going to build this guy here, and we're going to take a worker of any color. And we're going to get this farm. And now we've got a nice, let's go down there so you can check it out, worker spot to gain additional workers. Yep. So on the back of the card, we do get a cowrie shell though. So that's going back in the box. We're going to gain a cowrie shell, but we also have 1, a worker place, and 2, somewhere to tuck. So we can, yeah. So like her, even though she's really good, she's going to gain me an additional laborer, which is pretty clutch, I think. And this is a hut. So, whew, man. All right, so I'm going to gain a worker of any color, and I'll make that worker a rider, the black meeple. That way I can deal with these guys. All right. Now I need provisions severely. I will place him here to get a provision. I need 1 more provision. She gains me wood, so I'll take that wood. I'll use it in a later round, but I need 1 more provision to be able to take care of this guy. I can trade 2 cowrie shells for a provision here. All right, so 3 provisions, 2 riders, and a spearman. We'll take this guy out, and his reward is 1 cowrie shell and 1 laborer. And that's it, he's gone. Very good. All right, I've got 1 laborer, and I will put him here and gain another worker of what color do I want? Maybe I'll take a yellow archer. All right, so that ends my round. We are going to return the boat. So the boat's now up here. We're way ahead of the flood. We're going to suffer attacks. This guy's going to attack. I can trade in a white. So he killed one of my laborers, but oh well. Didn't kill one of my villagers. All right, we know. Now we have 2. So we're bringing in 2 barbarians. This is, wow, this is bad news, bears. Okay. Let's take we have 4 cards there for our harvest, just enough. So the flood's not moving yet. We are going to collect now. So let's get our laborer, cowrie shell, provision, worker of any color, brick, cowrie shell, laborer. So I will take another yellow, so another archer. All right, and we are rocking and rolling now. He comes back. I didn't want another archer. I will take the rider. That way I have everybody I need to take her out at least. All right. We'll see how this goes. Definitely going to use him to get 2 provisions. Bringing her in for free as per usual. I'm going to trash her and she's going to gain me. No, I want her in my village. Yeah. Well, first things first, I'm going to need 3 laborers, as you can see here. 3 laborers and and 2 calories. So I need another laborer. How am I going to get another laborer? Unless I completely trash this guy. And he's going to get me a brick and a laborer. It hurts, but what I'm going to do is 3 and 2 and build this one. So that's going to get me a brick, a branch, and destroy 2 cards. Okay, so I have to... He's going to destroy 2 cards, which is ugly. So 2 townsfolk are going to die. But I don't have any in my ready pile, so I'm going to have to shuffle these and then destroy 2, which moves this up, which is not a big deal. But the big deal is I'm losing 2 cards and I don't have many left, right? So I literally have 3 cards left in my ready pile now, which is not good. So I'm gonna need some cards, big time. Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. All right, so I'll use her to gain a red, which is a yeah. So the red, what are they? Red is the fighter. I always forget the names of these depending on their color. So red is a fighter, so I wanted to get the fighter so that I can get some provisions, because I need to spend a provision to get some more cards in my stack here. He gives me a provision and a cowrie shell. Keep it going. Like, yeah, these dams are getting more and more dangerous. But I do have enough to fight her. She'll give me a cowrie shell and a draw of a card, which I really don't want to do. You know what? Maybe I'll go here. Yeah, so what? I'm going to use my yellow to go there, and then I'm going to use my yellow to go here and get me a red. So I'm going to go after him instead, even though he's more expensive provision-wise. Because I'll go these 2 fighters and the rider. We'll take him out. He'll give me a laborer and a cowrie shell. So we'll get rid of that guy. I've got enough here to build another hut, which isn't bad. Or do I want to save up for an outpost? I just need 1 more wood. Yeah, ouch, ouch, ouch. That hurts. Man. Do I want to get rid of her? So let me get rid of this guy. This is where the puzzle's starting to really get me. Because there's a lot of things I can do here that aren't really good. Because I don't want to lose more cards. That's the issue here. I mean, I've got 3. I mean, I can spend 1 and take her back, just to keep my hand going. I've got 4 bricks, well, 3 bricks in the wood, and this guy. I can build one of these, or I could do. If I had 1 more wood. I could I could build an outpost. And the outpost, like I said, they let you interchange workers, which is extremely powerful. But maybe I'll build another hut. Or a farm. Yeah, maybe the farm is the right way to go. I'll do that. And a laborer. And so I can get an additional laborer. And I'll put this here. Put it here and get the cowrie shell. So I've got 3 of these. I can trade for a provision, 2 for a provision. And that provision's not going to do anything for me. Just give me 1. Yeah, it was kind of lame. Maybe I go here, get the provision, trade 2 to get another provision, and then with 2 provisions, I'll take her and just keep building my deck, right? So, boom, call that a day. Put this boat back here. We're going to suffer attacks, so they're gonna hit 2 things. I don't have the people to pay them, so they're gonna knock 2 cards off the top of my deck, which is painful. And we're bringing in 2 more. 1, 2. So less villagers, more barbarians. So we've got to really deal with them this time. That's that. So I'm going to draw. I only have 1 I have to shuffle. This is going to move up 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 2 left. So we're going to move it again. So I've got to do this. So let's go. We've got 1, 2, shell, provision, any color worker. These are coming back. So 2 yellows. Maybe I'll take the black one. We've got a brick. We've got a cowrie shell and another laborer. All right, so we've got a lot going on here. And I've got a really big means of getting some stuff here. So yeah, I'm gonna need all these resources, so I might as well play all these ladies and get them. So I'm gonna play her underneath. No, I can't yet. So because I could build. There's 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because I'm gonna build this dam, but not yet. So I'll play him to get me a provision and a cowrie. She's going to come over here. Yeah, no matter what I do, he's going to kill these 2 cards, so I might as well just build it. 2 cowrie shells and 3 laborers. Now I'm going to get brick, wood, and trash 2 cards. Wow. I definitely need to buy those 2 cards. Let's trade in these 2 cowries for another provision. Oh man, I need some blue fighters. There's 1. I'm not gonna fight her. I don't think I'm gonna fight her. I should fight her. I need 2 blues and a red. Eek. So let me go here. I'll get another blue. What do I need? So if I pay, I could pay 1, get her in. I need that. I don't have a red. That's a problem. I don't have a laborer either, which is another problem because I can't build anything without a laborer. I mean, I can go and get provisions. I've got a bunch, but all I can do is get another rider. 4 of these will get me a I don't have 4. Will get me a labor. I don't have 4. I can get 2 here with these 2. 2 provisions, 2 calories. But I need 2 more calories, which I'll gain if I... Oh, I need a red. So if I do these, spend 2 of these, go after her, spend 2 yellows and a black. I'm not sure if I can even take those, but I don't think I've got much longer. 1 cowrie shell, and I draw a card, which is going to move this up 1. So I draw a card. She's going to give me a cowrie and a provision if I want it. And there's my 4, so I'll trade these 4 in for a laborer. With that laborer, I'm going to build a 1, 2, 3 bricks and a wood. I'm going to build this guy here, and I'll take a red guy and a laborer. And I do story 1. What does that get me? Story 1 is, the promised workers arrived this morning. Among them was a young man skilled and honorable in his trade. He has settled into the camp and will be valuable in the work ahead. File the constructed hut card in the box under history. Find card 10 in the story deck and add it to your hand. So I get card number 10. I hope this is a savior because I am in trouble. Alright, so I got this dude. He was pretty beast. So let's see. Do I want to get the 2 wood from him? Or crush him and take a... Well, I'll hold on to him for a second. Pay 2 of these. And we're going to pay 2 of these blues and 1 red. And we're going to take care of her. She's going to give me a laborer and a cowrie shell. Done. All right. I will pay 1 to take her. I got to get as many of these as I can. So this guy, what do I do with him? Do I keep him? Do I tuck him? It gives me 2 wood. That should help me build an outpost. So 2 wood. Now I can pay 3 wood. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to do that. That way I can weather these guys. I can live another round. I think we're going to live another round. We'll hold on to these resources. I can put a worker. I can put a worker here and get another cowrie. Look, you need 1 of each color there. That's brutal. All right, so these guys are going to attack, but they're only going to want a wood and a brick, so they're not bad at all. But they are going to move over because I'm bringing in 3 barbarians this time. 1, 2, 3 barbarians. The boat's coming back. 2 villagers, which has really got us at a point where 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm still in this. We're going to gain a lot of stuff here, so get 2 of those. Cowrie shell, food, cowrie, brick, laborer, and any color. 1, 2, 3. What do I need? So if I'm going to fight any of these guys, it looks like yellow is the way. This is the way. All right. I've got a blue, which is helpful. So I can go, yeah. I need a red, which I can go here and get a red. The reason I'm doing that is so I can spend 3 cowrie 2. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have a ton left. Let me grab some dudes before I do this. I'll spend these 2. Grab these 2. Grab 1. That's a barbarian. Because now I'm going to build this. So 2 whites, a blue, and a red. And we're just building this, but it's going to destroy 2 cards. So there's 1. I'll shuffle. Destroy the next one. These are here. But this is coming off, and I'm getting 24 is what I'm reading. So 24 in the book. I've been waiting hours for my workers to return from finishing our most recent canal. When a shout came out from the edge of the tents, the workers had returned, and they were bloodied and tired. Barbarians have been roaming nearer and nearer to our camp, scouting for ways that they can hurt our efforts. It seems they found their way, what they were looking for. Find card 34 in the story deck and file it in the box under huts and canals for future games. Take 1 damage. Yikes. Which is basically take 1 damage. Which hurts. So I've got to take that. What number was that again? That was number 24. Alright, so it's telling me to put 34. Card number 34. Alright, so that goes in my canal deck for the next game. Okay. Well, we're not done yet, so I've got more. I've got enough cards to survive 1 more round if I can build that. So I just need to make sure I get the right workers for that. So let me put him here. I'll take provision. I'm going to need 3 shells, and so I'll put him here. I'll take shell, 2, 3, another provision. I need a blue worker, so I'm going to trash her. That's going to get me a wood and a blue worker. She's worth 2 provisions. I'll put her under here. That's going to gain me a rider. Alright, so I need blue. Well, I can pay some of these, not all of these. I'm going to need 1 more shell. And I don't want to build anything. Nope. Let's see how this thing tears out. So, putting our boat back, we need to spend a brick, a wood, a red guy. Don't have one, so I'm trashing a card. 2 shells, pay them, and a brick. So I was able to survive that. We are bringing out 2 more barbarians, so I'm not going to have any villagers next round. So this is my last round. There's no way I'm going to get through this. No way. So I had just enough cards, 4 cards. Oh, I only had 3. Oh, that killed me. That was it. We lost. So we take the lost deck. Actually, no. I had 3. My bad. I had 1 card left here, so this moves up. I'm still good. I have 4 cards left. We're not out yet. Don't count me out yet. Whew. All right, let's do our harvest, which is going to be 1 of these guys, 1 of these guys. Got my 4 cards. Got my cowrie shell. Got my food, my provision. I get a brick, a cowrie, a laborer, a rider. All these guys come back, and I get a guy of any color, and it doesn't really matter, so I will take, let's take a yellow. All right, so it's our turn. Let's see if we can do this. Make this a blue. All right, do I want a blue? Collect a blue, yeah. So I'm gonna do 2 yellows and a blue. 2 yellows and a blue, and that trashes her. She'll give me a cowrie shell and another laborer. She was free, didn't cost any of those provisions. I need 3, this guy, and 2 of them. So I have enough to do this canal, but it's going to destroy 2 cards. So I have no means of getting, well, I'm going to put all 3 of these in here. So I'll take a white, I'll take a red, I'll take a provision and a cowrie shell. I will build for these workers 3 cowrie. This guy comes off, this gets built, and I destroy 2 cards, so this gets shuffled. And I will take 2 off the top. Built the last canal. And read 44. Let's see what this does to us. Hopefully it's not a bad thing. A commotion drew our attention over to the river today. Shouts and crashing sounds bellowed from the forest as we watched and listened. The resounding roar echoed out through the valley. My people flinched back from the shore even though they were across the surging waters. A second yell preceded the figure breaking from the tree line, running for the river. It was a short-lived attempt at escape. For moments later, the source of his dismay came crashing from the forest. A huge bear, blue and brown in the fading light, arrows protruding from its fur. The man was running as if spurred by his ancestors, but the bear was faster. I am not sure what the barbarian did to anger the creature, but it was clearly unhappy about it. Once we are sure the animal is gone, we will send men to bury what is left of the man. No one should be left like that. So that gets filed in history. Find card 54, and it goes under Hudson Canals. Discard the leftmost barbarian card from the board if possible, without gaining its reward. All right. So barbarian was killed by a bear. Card 54 is now going to come into play in the next game. All right, cool. So that is it. Let us look at the end here. So we've... the game ends when you either win or lose. You win the game if you successfully build all 6 canal sections and survive to the end of the current round. So basically, let's see. Through the barbarians, if there are over 7 barbarians... If there are ever over 7, so I never had that, so I'm good. So the current round, basically, we survived it. But I don't know if the barbarians, if they get an attack, I'm finished. Right? So I guess I have to see about getting enough to satisfy the barbarians, right? So I need a red worker for her, got it. I need 2 cowrie shells, I'll work on that. I need a brick, got it. 2 more cowrie shells. So I'm going to need 3 cowrie shells at this point and a blue worker. So I can go here to get the blue worker. I can go here to get a cowrie shell. I need 2 more cowrie shells, right? So I can trade what for cowrie shells? Not much. Not much. I think that's fine. Let's resolve. So she takes the red. He gets 2 cowrie shells. No big deal. He gets a brick. He wants 2 cowrie shells. Doesn't take it. Trashes a card. He wants a blue. Gets the blue. That's it. That's the game. Survived. Survived. So I would get the winning card. So let's go see what we got to do here. If you win the game, turn over the top victory cards. Will direct you to read an entry from the storybook. So I will turn over my card. I have my entry. I'm not going to share that with you guys because I don't think we want to go any further into this. This is for you guys to unfold, right? Because this is where all the spoilers come in. I gave a few, but I don't think they're enough to deter you in any way. But as you can see, it's a tight game. I've never had a game of this where it's been easy. It's always down to the wire. Like I've lost my share. And when you win sort of like by the skin of your teeth, right? But it is definitely, for what it is, it's really crunchy, and the decisions are really nice because you have a lot of options on how you can use your cards, right? You can tuck the cards, you can trash the cards, you can just discard them to get the little bit of a reward, or you can trash them completely to get the bigger reward. You're always fighting for what resource you want to get. You have a lot of different options on what you can build. So every game is always a little different, even though it's sort of a very similar setup. And the fact that that when it was designed, Shem put in that the whole campaign and this whole deck of cards that are getting added into the game, I think is what really gives this legs. Because if it were just a standard, this is just the game and that's it, it would obviously get stale after a while, right? Because you're just playing the same game over and over again, and there's really no difference to it. But with all of these added nuances in the story, and you sort of lived through this, tug of war, and it's not a bad thing to lose, because you get an event that happens when you lose, and you may get something that helps you win further games later. So that's a really cool mechanic, right? And I think that's that it's definitely, for a solitaire game, it's got a ton of theme, and it's a beautiful game to look at on a nice small footprint, because like I said, the art in this is just, I'll show some. I mean, like, this is like really pretty art, man. Like, the character designs here are phenomenal. Like, it's so pretty. So pretty. Really big fan of the art here. I think it's clean, it's crisp. I love the sharp, the outlines on all the character models, and just everything on the board. It's really just, everything just pops, right? The color's pretty. And to me, it's really important to have a game that's nice to look at, because you're sitting here staring at the board on a table all day. If it's bland and colorless, then it's really like, but really solidly done. When I saw this out there, I didn't back it on Kickstarter, which was unfortunate. I just don't back a lot of Kickstarters, unfortunately, I guess. But when I saw this one out there, I really wanted it, because it piqued my interest, the fact that it was a solo game. But as soon as it became available from the Garfield Games store, I ordered it and got it within a couple of days. So no loss there. And I'm not a big I need all the promos type of person, so for me, just getting the base retail version of a game is plenty, because I've got a ton of games to play. I don't think that one promo card that you typically get with these Kickstarters really makes all the difference to me. And I'm really happy with the purchase. It was reasonably priced. There's a lot of game in this box, as you saw. It's like any good solo game. It forces you to make hard decisions, and you almost feel like you're losing the entire game until the end, when you just squeak it out. You think you've lost, but you actually can squeak it out. May have done a few rules tweaks that I didn't follow correctly, but hey, you know what? At the end of the day, if it's close enough and you have fun with it, then I enjoyed my time with the game, so that's all that really matters. But leave your notes below if you saw anything that I need to rules corrections you want to highlight that we don't want anybody to think the game should be played a certain way. I'll pin those comments, that way we can steer anybody clear. But otherwise, I was glad to be able to bring a solo game back to the channel. Have a handful of these games queued up to bring and run through solo, just to kind of add some variety to what we're putting out there, and hope you enjoyed it. So if you want to go below, you can see what table we're on. We're on a Geek and Son table, the Megan, I believe it's called. Really like this one, so if you are interested in that, there's a link to it down below. If you're interested in supporting our channel, there is our Patreon down below as well. If you just want to come and hang out on our Discord, you're welcome to do that. All those links are down below. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you next time.